Hello, my name is Eileen Valencia and I will be presenting my senior project. It was on the assimilation of Mexican culture in the United States, where it all started. So the Mexican culture has always been a huge part of the United States for its history, culture, and just overall everything. So this is a little fun fact. The first Thanksgiving took place in either El Paso or New Mexico. And the first university was also founded in Mexico City, and Mexicans later arrived in the United States, which is now New Mexico, in 1598. The language. It originates from a dialect that was derived from Mayan people, and it was later introduced by Romans during the Second Punic War in 210 BC. In the United States alone, there is about 43 million people who speak Spanish, meaning that it played such a huge role that it impacted the United States and the people living in it, that it became to that large number. So the food. There is approximately 233 million Americans who eat Mexican food, which is a really huge number. And it forms approximately 9% of the restaurants in the United States. So compared to like the whole spectrum, it's a pretty big number, I think. And the number of restaurants is still increasing today. And I know multiple restaurants around from where I live that are Mexican, so I know that for a fact that it is growing and it is increasing. And these are pictures of a couple of foods that they brought here, I guess. So there's chicken and like rice, beans, tacos, churros, like little desserts that originated from there that make such a huge impact and are eaten on a regular day basis here in the US. So customs and traditions. So they have multiple cultures that were brought here to the United States. Special celebrations. Day of the Dead is a big one. Lady of Guadalupe, which is celebrated on December 12th, was brought to the United States. Cinco de Mayo also plays a huge role and becomes a huge celebration. Even sometimes people make festivals, and here specifically in Willimantic, they have parades dedicated to Cinco de Mayo, people dancing. It's a really huge deal here. So some of the traditions that were brought from Mexico. Music. So it's very closely associated with mariachi style of music, which is used here in the US in special Mexican restaurants. I've seen mariachi bands, or parties and festivities like that they use mariachi bands. Tejano music, which was introduced in the United States also in the mid-19th century. Mexican music can be listened to by half of Americans in the United States. So it can vary from the type of style, but the music that they listen to would probably originate from Mexico, but it just varies on the numbers. But yeah. Mexican imports. So the United States imported $372 billion worth of products that came from Mexico in the year of 2018. The things that they would export would be cars, car parts, and they would import $93 billion worth of things. And they also imported tech equipment, foods and stuff like that also play a huge role in what the United States is now. And yeah. So Americans will also import $6.7 billion worth of vegetables and $5.3 billion worth of fruit and nuts that will all come from Mexico. So between 30 and 44% of US imports in this category come all from Mexico, which does show that it does play a huge role in what we eat in our everyday foods, or the grocery list, or in different grocery stores. You could see a whole aisle dedicated just to Hispanic foods, and in those Hispanic aisles you would see Mexican foods like spices and stuff like that, vegetables play a huge role also. So what I learned from this presentation and for my senior project was it was a really eye-opener to what the United States is made out of, which can be, I guess, like a melting pot of different cultures uniting and making what the US is today, which includes Mexico. And I feel like there's so many parts to it that it's very widely, like, I guess, like there's so many parts to it that it's very widely represented in the things that we do in our everyday life that we don't even recognize. So I think personally for me, I see it in different things, like in the language, in the music, in what people celebrate today and what they see as their normal. So like eating tacos and just seeing people just mix, I guess, and just to see all these cultures together, and to know that Mexico is a small part to it but a big impact on it too. It could be like, again, the imports and stuff like that. So I think it plays a huge role in it, and that's how it's impacted. I feel like financially it's impacted and in other parts too. So yeah, that's what I learned. And these are just a little bit of places that you would see there. So like, I think this is in Mexico City. These are like pyramids, different beaches that there is. So I think, yeah, this is my presentation and my citations page. I don't know if, there it is. Thank you.